Ladies and gentlemen, Jetson Striker here, and welcome to another Xcom to War the Chosen mod concept video. We are continuing the trend of SCP related mods and another raider faction regarding Into the Flesh That Hates. So before we begin, what is the Flesh That Hates? To those of you who don't know, it's an SCP from the SCP universe, of course. SCP-610, also known as the Red Death, or the Flesh That Hates, is one of the most well-known and oldest articles on the SCP website. It describes a highly deadly, aggressive, and infectious disease that mutates any organic being it comes across, containing something as widespread as this is deemed impossible with the SCP Foundation. Instead of going the route of quarantining and isolating the disease on site to prevent spread. The forces of Yaldabaoth, a cult worshipping the spread of disease to bring humanity back to its primal instincts, has been using SCP-610 to reshape the world, drive out the many technological advancements humanity has developed over the years, and because of its organic nature, something made out of this fleshy, cancerous almost material would take double damage from all fire-based attacks, incendiary grenades, dragon rounds, flamethrowers, anything that produces fire. The Flesh That Hates it. Fitting. Okay, so they will also have a dot mechanic, a weaker form of my Pandorian virus mechanic. Anyone who comes in contact with this with 610 gets a 4-turn dot effect. If not healed within these 4 turns, the victim dies and is resurrected as the 610 combat form. This applies to all organic targets. Infection occurs by getting hit by one of 610's attack, trying to perform a melee attack on any 610 infection forms, or by standing within 2 tiles of 610 infection forms for longer than 2 turns. AKA, don't make contact with 610 at all. It's this highly infectious, highly contagious disease. You don't want to get it. And anything that grants poison immunity is immune to 610's dot effect, and the effect can be cured by any medkit or medical protocol ability. Right, so Fortress, hazmat vests, mechanical units, carrying a medkit, the bio trooper, the autopsy rewards like the Bio Nano Skill Vest or the Viper Skill Vest. Anything that provides poison immunity, you will not be affected by 610. Alright, so 610 infection forms. This is again where the mod kind of breaks off from the kind of SCP standard that a majority of the SCP community goes against. As I said in my last SCP related faction mod, it's not like this is going up on the SCP website. This is a mod for Xcom, so I'm still trying to stay as true as I can to the SCP universe. Some things are simply not going to work because gameplay mechanics, right? It's got to make sense for the game, so that's kind of my priority. So moving on. The 610 combat form is the most common form of 610 that will be produced. It has 20 armor, yikes. 20 HP, no armor, 70 aim. The will does not matter. It is immune to mind-altering effects. 16 mobility, no dodge and defense. Now this consumed deal is going to be explained in just a second. Abilities: regeneration. 610 can quickly heal any physical wounds, heals 5 HP per turn. Mold: 610 can shed off a layer of its skin, removing any environmental effects such as fire, acid, etc. on a 2-turn cooldown. Consume: 610 can eat, quote-unquote, any organic material it finds to grow stronger, including stunned units, dead bodies, and other 610 infection forms. Each use of consumes provides a full heal and plus 10 extra HP on top of that. Melee range only, 3-turn cooldown. So what it means by melee range only, it's not like a charging slash attack that the rangers have. They have to first have the blue move range to walk next to something, and then they have to then activate the ability there. Alright, and this can be consumed at less than 5 HP. So if a combat form, it's knocked down or survives with like 1 HP or something, another infection form can come on, consume it, get a full heal, and gain an extra 10 HP. right? Because it's highly infectious and it's widespread, so it can easily, you know, build itself up like that kind of thing. A 610 tank form has 25 HP, 3 armor, 70 aim, no will doesn't matter, 10 mobility, no dodge, 10 defense, and it can never be consumed, even if it's at low HP. Regeneration, which is the same as the combat form, consume, same as the combat form. Organic reconstruction, 610 can rebuild a hardened layer of organic armor to keep itself protected. Provides +3 armor on a 3-turn cooldown. Grab and crush, 610 tank forms have strong muscles that can hold targets in place, deals 3 to 4 damage per turn. If the target dies, they are automatically consumed, giving it a full heal. And of course the bonus HP, melee use only. Like I said, they can't just rush within movement range and then do it. They have to blue move to it and then activate the ability. 610 carrier forms, which is only 15 HP, 1 armor, no aim, no will, none of that matters. 20 mobility, dodge and defense is 0, can always be consumed no matter how much HP it has. It still has regeneration like the combat form, and detonate. 610 carrier forms can explode in a shower of spores. Organic units that inhale the spores are infected by 610. Same radius as spray grenades, also occurs on death. Early 610 infection form. 20 HP, no armor, 70 aim, no will, no dodge and defense, no mobility, can always be just consumed no matter what the HP. Still has regeneration like combat forms. Call for help. Early infection forms will try to seek out assistance to increase the spread, gives away its location and drives enemy AI patrols to its location. So say a Advent patrol is nearby and they hear the screaming, they'll go and investigate it. Slash storm slashes at anything that moves within melee range, 2 to 4 damage, and infects organics. And you may have noticed there's no like loadout subcategory here. That's because they're all infection forms. They're all mindless infection forms. They can't use weapons or anything like that. So it's to be assumed that every single infection form, minus the carrier form, has a basic slash attack. That, on successful hit to organics, will infect enemies with 610. Alright, you know, and it acts kind of like a ranger attack. It'll do low damage, maybe 2 to 4, maybe 2 to 5 damage, just because it can't use any weapons or anything like that. 610 Terraforming Mutation form, 60 HP, no armor. All of these effects doesn't matter because it's immobile, and it's immobile, can never be consumed no matter what HP it has. Regeneration heals 10 HP per turn. Spawn infected. This pile of infected organic material is a very late form of infection, mainly when multiple other infection forms pile together to mold and terraform the environment. Spawns 1 random infected form every turn until killed. New spawns gain a single scamper move. So that's why none of these infection forms matter. It can't move. It's not necessarily a separate infection form, but it's a form of late infection where other infection forms kind of trigger a hive mind reaction, kind of like the grave mind from the Halo Flood. They pile together and create this kind of fleshy, oozing mass that will spawn other infection forms, you know, like cancerous growths just peeling off of it and becoming separate infection entities. Alright, and that also contributes to its infectivity rates because these massive fleshy masses keep spawning things every turn, and then they quickly overrun a unprotected, unquarantined area. Because normally SCP operatives would keep these infected areas at bay, if not outright terminating them with incendiary-based weapons. Then, of course, we got a couple sit reps that will put these infection forms into effect. A 610 containment zone, where a small number of 610 infection forms have been isolated to a small corner of the AO. The SCP Foundation advises anybody in the area to stay away from 610 at all costs. So, you know, it's a small isolated area where they haven't been killed outright yet. They still, of course, exist. And if given the opportunity, they will rapidly widespread the entire area. Right? And then 610 Containment Breach, where in the SCP universe, each anomaly is given a certain class. And Keter class is like the second highest one. Right? Or actually, the music I'm using in the background is a Containment Breach music, which, as you can see by the picture, isn't good. Alright, so Keter classes are dangerous, but not the worst, but they're still highly dangerous. Like, if any of these things would actually widespread breach and breach the entire world, it would probably cause a world-ending emergency alert system scenario, like all those emergency alert world-ending scenarios you see on YouTube and stuff. Alright, but anyway, Keter class containment breach in the AO, multiple infection and terraforming mutation forms are present. All SCP personnel to evacuate immediately, and the O5 Council, which is the ruling body of the SCP Foundation, has been notified. Firebomb warheads to be launched in T-20 turns. Any operatives in the AO evacuate immediately. 610 has completely overrun this area. Xcom has 20 turns to complete any objectives in the AO before the Foundation launches firebomb warheads, killing any advent, Xcom, and 610 forces in the area. Right, and this timer starts on turn 1. True concealment would not affect this timer. Right, because if it's a highly dangerous containment breach, the SCP Foundation isn't going to wait for Xcom to get their shit together and go. They're gonna want to nuke that place to fucking oblivion. It actually used to be like a firebomb warhead. Or a nuclear warhead. But I feel like a nuclear warhead would completely render the place unusable. Right? And it wouldn't really make much sense. So, firebomb warheads it is, because SCP-610 takes increased damage from fire, right? So it makes sense they use firebombs. And essentially, like, large numbers of random infected and maybe 1 or 2 mutated infection forms would be on the map. And the mutated infection forms will spawn units even before they're activated. So from turn 1, they'll be spitting out random infection forms. Right, so during 610 containment zones, there'll be a lower % chance for the infection forms to spawn. Alright, maybe like a less than 10%. And then on the containment breaches, there's always going to be guaranteed 1 or 2 of these things, constantly spewing things out from turn 1, even before you activate it. Right, because it's not necessarily a unit, right? You can't necessarily activate it like you would a normal pod. So that's why it just be constantly doing stuff. And it also kind of further elaborates on the point that this is a highly infectious, mutacious disease. Alright? It ain't gonna wait for you to activate it like a normal advent pod would. Right? This doesn't care about Xcom. This doesn't care about anything. It just wants to spread itself. Right? So it's just kind of elaborating and making sure that point gets across. Anyway, same thing as the last SCP zone. I really hope Puma takes this into consideration and maybe makes it himself. It'd be really cool. He did a really good job on his other SCP mods. And my next Raider faction, Raiders World campaign, I would definitely use them 100%. So yeah, I have used his SCP mods in the past, but I mean, again, it'd just be really cool, alright? I'm really excited and really, you know, oh, what's the word? Not really excited, because I don't expect anybody to pick this up. But I really do care about this kind of stuff, right? and the chances of having one of my mods or a few of my mods turn into actual mods, like be actually used and stuff, and I can have, you know, my name on those mods, alright? Because if I go through all this effort to create these elaborate presentations, then I obviously want to get credit for my work and for the time I spent making these videos, if anybody does them anyway, right? But anyway, that's let me fangirling about my dream of mods and not being able to make them. And the fact is, it's not that I'm not willing to learn, is that I don't have the disk space on my computer to install the modding tools, because I've tried beforehand. Because Coyote said that he'd teach me how to mod if I get the modding tools, and I tried to do it, and none of my disks have disk space left, right? So I might have to get like a gaming laptop or something that can run Xcom 2 to get the modding tools on it. But anyway, I'm done ranting and raving. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys next time. I'm out.